Hello, Monarch fans, and welcome to another edition of Monarchs 24, looking at the 2024 class for ODU football. Today, I am joined by defensive lineman Ahmaad Foster. Ahmaad is from Salesianum School in Wilmington, Delaware, but originally hails from Chester, Pennsylvania. Ahmaad, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're only a few months away from graduating and heading down to Norfolk to get started with ODU. Are you feeling pretty excited at this point as the months tick down?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's all coming so fast because like right after graduation, I'm right down in campus and getting to work. It's kind of like I don't have a summer for like all my other friends, but I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to impact the program right now, and I can't wait to get down there and get things started.
Awesome. Well, I know the Monarch fans will be happy to hear that. But talking about your team this season, I know you all went 12-1, won the DIAA Class 3A championship. What was it like to kind of finish out your career there with a championship and a ring, and obviously the hoodie that you're wearing now?
Yeah. So it's been really like it really paid off. Like all the hard work, it really feels good to finish out on top. Especially I've been working for it for 4 years straight and coming short like the previous 4 years, and we finally got like new coaching staff, got together, got our guys on a rally. We just rallied up and won the state championship. You also like we just put so much dedication and hard work in since like January all the way till December. Like it's a 4 year thing, and it finally paid off, and it feels really great to have a state championship under my belt.
Yeah, and you had some dudes on that team. Like I watched some of the highlights from the state championship game. You had some guys who were really good on that team, but you really still stood out as one of the top players on the field all the time. In the playoff semifinals, and you mentioned this in your Q&A. You had 3 sacks against your rival, which clearly made a big impact in a game that was pretty
Yeah.
close. It was a 10-point game. But tell us a little bit about that game and kind of how you prepare your mindset going into big rivalry games and playoff games like that.
Well, the rivalry between Middletown and Sally's, it goes all the way back since like the 70s. And our guys been playing their guys in like state championships. Like they got Chris Godwin graduated from that school. Brian O'Neill was a Pro Bowler. He was on our team. They clashed at it for heads, and for the past 2 years, we always got sent home by them in the playoffs. And it was like my coach, like before after we lost that game last year, was like, how are you going to change the culture? How are we going to change from being regarded as, oh, we're the number 3 team, instead of being like to number 1? And like ahead of those games, it's always like we got marked on the calendar. Like that's the game we want to win. Like regardless, like once that week hits, it's a whole different vibe in the players' room, in the coaches' room, like on the field and practice. Like we're just trying to win and be laser focused for the game to execute the plan to win. And during that games, like those games throughout the year, they always been sold out, packed. Like you got all the hoopla going on, and all the players had to stay focused. And what my coach like to say that the light always shines bright on us, no matter who we play, where we are. So we're used to it, and that game really helped because everyone was focused on their goal, ran perfect schemes, perfect plays to like combat with theirs, and we just got it done. And we showed out on top of that, like handily.
Yeah, I know. I think you won that one by 10 points, and I think from some of the comments and things I've seen, that was almost really like the state championship game because when you got to
Yeah,
that final, you all rolled. I mean, it was a blowout. Your running back was running all over everybody. Defense was
yeah,
stout. So that's love hearing getting hyped up and kind of going for that revenge factor in those rivalry games.
yeah. Um, none of mine are coming up. Mine are from the team we played in the state championship, Murkai James. He he was something for us, but like we knew that it was just one guy versus a bunch of studs on defense. So it was like almost you had to do was stop him. It was fine. Like their quarterback was he was scrambling too. Like he was running out the pocket the whole time. Had him running all day long. He was making good scramble plays, and it was tied 10-10 going to halftime. Believe it or not, because offense started off really slow. Defense was like holding our ground. Like we was on the field. Like I feel like the whole half felt like our offense kept fumbling, turnover, like little mistakes that just kept nicking at us. And coach didn't even have to say really nothing to us at halftime because he already knew that the goal we were trying to do. He was like, we gotta clean it up, and we're only a couple minutes away, or like a half an hour away from winning the state championship. And everybody's had to dig deep and believe in themselves. And we went out there in the second half and put the beating on them boys.
I about to say that was had to been a beat down in the second half, just wearing them down. Well, I know from us moving to the Sun Belt a couple years ago, And even in our non-conference play, we see a lot of quarterbacks that can move around in the pocket, get free, and a lot of time it's those defensive linemen that are going out there and chasing people down. So glad to hear you have some experience with that, but don't expect that to change once you get up here to ODU.
Oh no, I know it's gonna be a lot harder, a lot faster QBs because it's at the next level now. And yeah, like basically, like I ain't gonna sleep on Delaware football. A lot of people don't know about it, but people are now coming down and starting to see like where the talent is. Like we just need that spotlight.
Yeah, I know there's some talent that's come out of there, and I'm glad that our coaches and our recruiting teams are going up there and finding guys like you to come down and help build up our program. This year, going to your last year of high school ball, what was kind of the biggest jump that you made from like either the way you understand the game, physically how you played it? What was kind of the biggest improvement you saw in yourself over your senior year?
My biggest improvement was basically like my technique. Like last year, like I was faster last year, but I had gotten the weight room and I had to just use my strength. I felt more all around this year with my technique after looking at film, improving and practicing since like sophomore year when I was on varsity for my 3 years on varsity. It just felt like this year was the year to just cap it off because like I already got the size, I got the technique now. I mean, now we just got to put it together and make the finished product, which I feel like I did a pretty good job this year at doing. A really productive year, and that's pretty much it.
All right, and I know through your recruitment process, you had a couple different offers, kind of from what you told us earlier. Kind of came down to ODU and Temple. Run us through your recruiting process and kind of what eventually made you land on Old Dominion.
Well, at first it was really like both programs are really good, but like I always like looked at Temple like as a D line like blueprint factory like that like gets a lot of NFL guys because they got a lot of connections down there, and I was like, what's going to make me to put me to the next level like and put me in the right position, and then I looked at y'all. Y'all had 5 draft picks or 5 picks going into the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And was like the most in the group of 5. And I was like, all right, so we see this one program here has the history, but then you got this other program that's on the rise, and it felt like it's not going to stop soon. So when I committed to Temple, I still like kept my doors open, and I was like looking at my options and seeing like which one was better, weighing them, seeing the records go, seeing how the coach staff go. Also, didn't think that Temple's coach staff would be around after my freshman year if it wasn't another good year. If it wasn't a good year, and I look at Coach Ronnie, I'm like, they got things going. It's not like it's a up and down mountain. They're actually in games with teams, can win games, and the program's going up. And I like Coach Vic and all the people on the coaching staff, so it just made like the right choice for me. And me and my family agreed on it as well so it like made it easier for me.
Yeah, well, we're certainly happy with your decision to come down to ODU. And yeah, I mean, Old Dominion's put quite a few guys in the league. I mean, we did have the most players drafted out of the G5 last year. Kind of a history of some of those defensive linemen too. I mean, obviously O'Shane Zimenez was a big one for us. Played for the Giants for a while, and then Keon White, who actually ended up transferring to Georgia Tech and finishing his career there.
Oh, that
Uh,
that that's funny because the Temple D line coach he was at Georgia Tech 2 years prior before Temple. Like last year was his first year back at Temple. He was there when they were like back when they were really good.
mhm.
He went to Georgia Tech. He coached up Keon White, and he came to my school and was like, "If you come down here, this is my plan for you to be like Keon White." So that's funny that he went to ODU. So that's really funny.
Yeah, he actually came to ODU as a tight end and then got converted to defensive line. And then obviously that was a good decision to move there. Finished his career at Georgia Tech, but he still reps Old Dominion. I know we were talking about, it was like 4 players got drafted from ODU, and he responded to that on social media, said it's actually 5. You got to include me in that. So it's good to still see the love from Keon there. But yeah, there's clearly some pathways to the next level from Old Dominion. So. Switching gears a little bit to talk kind of more like defensive strategy. We run this year. We typically run kind of like a 3-3-5, a 3-2-6 dime. We roll in some 4-2-5 looks. From the highlight videos I saw, it looks like you were in kind of a lot of those mixed fronts, right? 3-man, 4-man, linebackers
Yeah.
moving up. What do you like about that defensive approach, and kind of how do you see yourself fitting in with that at ODU?
Well, Coach Warlow, he's a former NFL linebacker for the Falcons. Paul Warlow, he was a starter, and he had the D line and the scheme basically to where it's free play for the linebackers and safeties, and he liked it to where we all can just like roam around free and like basically after I learned like the first couple weeks of practice, I was like, yo, this defense is gonna be crazy. He sent an NFL blitzes at us because I was on offense at first, and we like offense will always get our butts kicked in practice by our defense. And still, and then I never really enjoyed it. I can't wait to play defense. And our coach Daldon, he will always get mad. He be like, it's not a good practice offense. Like gets it right, but it's like our defense was so good and explosive and fast that it just worked out. So I feel like that will prepare me for coming to ODU because I already played the scheme. I already know how to play the because technically it's two ends, but it's tackle and end. I can play boundary and field. So I feel like that being in that defense gave me a boost or at least my foot in the water for when I come to ODU.
Yeah, it's a fun defense to watch. I know we've had a good bit of turnover this year with some guys, graduating and going in the transfer portal. But it's a fun defense to watch. It's kind of our backbone. It has been of keeping us in the games. Earlier you talked about your offense wasn't clicking real well early, and you felt like you were on the field for the whole half. We saw that. So the defensive side of the ball gets a lot of love from our fan base for keeping us in those games, making big plays, and giving time for the offense to kind of work things out.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do as a defensive guy. You just gotta keep fighting. Eventually, offense is gonna have something. And if not, then you just gotta score yourself.
We did that a few times too, so we know that feeling. So.
I was at the game where it was against Georgia State, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like news fest until like the end of the game. My dad was like, "Let's go on the game, get on and leave." And I'm like, "Hold on, the game almost over. I feel like they got something." And then the first two touchdowns. Then we really thought y'all got the onside kick, which was crazy, and it, like ended up being like overturned or whatever. But it was still like a really fun game at the end of the game, and I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah, that's one of those that goes down in the history books for ODU. Like I'm glad I was there and I was stayed. I was freezing cold. I think everyone in the stands
Yeah,
was pretty cold
I
by the end
forgot
of
about that too. It was really cold. I couldn't feel my hands.
the. But we forget all of that when we get the safety towards the end of the game, and then obviously score a touchdown in the last play to win it and become bowl eligible. So glad you were there for that one, and love you and your crew staying to the end too.
Yeah.
Well, talking about the class that we have coming in, I know you're not on campus yet, but have you connected with anyone else that's in your class? Had any conversations? Gotten close to anybody yet?
Well, I wouldn't say close, but we definitely like connect. Like we have a group chat already of the guys coming in, and like I get to see like the guys already there. Like they just send us pictures and videos of like the dorms and stuff. And I feel like once we get there, it's gonna be one big brotherhood. Cause that's what we like to preach around Sally's, like one big brotherhood. And I feel like it's gonna be really well when I get there. It's gonna work really well.
That's great to hear. I know Quinn Hinnicle, the quarterback, who's not too far from you over in Downington, Pennsylvania, kind of
Yeah,
said the same thing. We're excited to get there, meet the guys, and start building that brotherhood and that chemistry together with all the new guys coming in. All right. All right. So I told you beforehand we'd have some sort of gaming question for you. And I'm asking everyone in the 24 class this, but allegedly we're getting an EA Sports college football game this summer. Been waiting,
yeah.
trying not
I
to get my
can't wait for
hopes
that.
up. If we do get that, what's going to be your overall rating and how badly are you going to dominate your teammates playing that game?
Well, since I'm a freshman, they're not gonna know who I am. So I'm gonna say my overall will be at least like a 60 something. But I feel like once I get that exposure, it's gonna be way higher. But anyway, forget all that. I'm putting myself as a starter, 9 on overall, and I'm frying everyone. I like to play Madden. That's like one of my favorite games to play. I play Madden a lot, and I just pride myself in beating people with Madden. It's like really fun, and it's really good at bragging rights too.
I love it. I love building that competition. I'm glad that it's coming back for college. Like it's been years and years for me. I still have
Yeah,
NCAA 14 on an old Xbox
I
360.
wish I had it.
Yeah, it's tough to get your hands on these days.
I had the demo on my PS3, but I never got the real game. But I remember playing. It was like really fun. I
Yeah,
was like, imagine this game is like I wish they don't mess it up. That's all they got to do is don't mess it up.
yeah,
Just you can't mess up. Like please don't mess up.
yeah. I hope they take their time and they do it right. But it's going to be cool with the update. ODU just snuck in on that last one they ever got made. So ODU's there,
Yeah,
but it's the old field. It's I think we were like an independent or something like that, so we weren't even in a conference. But so looking forward to that. So I'm going to give you the floor in a minute just to kind of share your message with Monarch fans. But first, I've got to know, are you like a full Philly sports guys? Who do you root for at the pro level?
Well, I always been a LeBron James fan since I was like 6 years old. But I'm always ride or die big Eagles fan. I'm not really into the like other Philly sports, but I still support them. Like the Sixers, like once LeBron retires, I might be a Sixers fan. But I was a Sixers fan at one point in my life, but that was when they sucked. Like Evan Turner, Kurt Williams, I couldn't stand watching that. And then when I like first time seeing the Miami Heat play with like Dwayne Wade, I was like, yo, that's my guy. Like I like Dwayne Wade. Then I saw LeBron, I was like, yo, no, he's better. Hopped on the bandwagon. I was like a little kid, so ever since then I just been a LeBron and an Eagles fan. Kind of disappointed out and for the Eagles, a little disappointed, heartbroken, but it's whatever. I feel like they're gonna get it together.
Yeah, that was a tough one for you. It was the last weekend or two weekends ago.
Yeah.
So now I know you got to pick who you're rooting against now with the last four teams that are left in there. Any teams on there you hate?
Oh well, the 49ers. I can't wait. Just want. I don't care if Mahomes wins again. I like greatness,
Hmm.
but I really want to see Lamar Jackson get his first ring. That's what I'm rooting for the rest of the playoffs. Or the Lions. The Lions would be cool too.
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with it with either one of those. I know you're not too far from Baltimore, and
Yeah.
I'm sure the hype there would be just insane if they were able to bring home another Super Bowl.
Yeah. I want. I only be happy for Lamar. No one else really. Lamar, I feel like he deserves it. They always count him out. He even
Mhm.
said it. He said, "You won't get a Super Bowl out of me," and that'd be really tough to like be a man of his word and actually win a Super Bowl for the city. That really dope.
Yeah, that would silence I think a lot of his haters that have built up over the years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll leave the final stuff with you. Do you have any message for Monarch fans as you get ready to come on campus here in a couple months?
Oh, I just want to say, y'all can get the best out of me. I'm hoping, or no, I'm not hoping. I'm what's that word? I'm really excited to get down on campus and get to work. That's all I gotta say. Also, like to say, tap in with me on Instagram. Uh, you can probably put it in a Twitter post, but I'm really excited to be down there and be with energy and the fans. I can't wait for game days, and I can't wait to win some more championships for the Sun Belt, and hopefully, or not even hopefully, maybe make the college football playoffs. I feel like we can get there in the next 2 years. That'd be really good.
I love to hear that. I know Monarch fans will love to hear that. We'll make sure all your handles and stuff are in our post. But Ahmad, had a great time chatting with you. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me. And go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.